Now, that was not the rippling of the rivers in the Pacific Northwest. That was the reflecting pool by the White House. I know what I'm doing. I'm Dorothy Wilhelm, and this is Swimming Upstream radio show. Now, with America's birthday coming up, we have a special guest. We have pretty often, but he's still special. Our dear friend, Bill Lewis, is here, and we're going to talk about what might make America's birthday happy and what we remember from our own early American birthdays. And Bill, I give you the honor, nobody else has ever gotten to do this before, of introducing yourself. And you get to say whatever you want to about you, Bill Lewis, the one, the only.
Me! Oh, goodness gracious, Dorothy, that is so generous of you. I've never had an opportunity like this to explain to people what a wonderful human being I am.
I think that's nice. You go right ahead. Who are you, Bill Lewis? Who is the real Bill Lewis?
Who am I? I don't know. I'm just some guy who was a computer scientist and did a bunch of cool stuff over a lifetime and got involved in politics, trying to build a better world. Always obsessed about that idea that a better world is possible. So I have done my best to go out and do precisely that. So when Hurricane Irma hit Florida, I went down and mucked out houses with a bunch of people from Samaritan's Purse. When the chemical spill happened with the water system in West Virginia, in Charleston, I went down there for 3 weeks and drove water to people who needed it. And so I'm one of those obsessive Boy Scout types. Yes, I am an Eagle Scout.
Oh, wow.
And going out to do what I can to build a better world.
And do you feel like you're making progress? Do you feel like we are, with everything that's going on now, do you feel like we are building a better world?
Oh, my goodness gracious. When you look at the world as it was in 1776, oh, my goodness gracious, things are so much better in so many ways. I mean, look at all the material wealth we have in America, and indeed other countries in the world. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Kenya, and in the poorest part of Kenya. And so I have some idea what to compare to. And no, we're in America, we got it made.
Well, what do you think for us who came from around the same time? We're coming up on the 250th birthday of America, of our country. What do you think about it? How did you celebrate as a child, as a little fellow? What was the celebration like? Do you remember?
Well, sure. When I was a kid, it was, fireworks and speeches and parades, and everybody was positive and optimistic, and we saw the world getting better and better and better. We grew up under the shadow of World War II. And we saw that, oh my goodness, things are so much better than they were then. And I have friends whose parents have numbers tattooed on their arms. So yeah, life is so much better.
Well, and I think people often forget that, at least when I was in elementary school, even, we had drills every day. The Russians were coming, and we had to go and hide under the desk for up to an hour, just hiding and waiting. And none of us expected to live to be. I remember my great prayer was to live to be 16, because it seemed to me that by the time you were 16, everything would have happened anyway of any importance. And so,
yeah, I mean, I was living outside of Washington, D.C. as a kid, and during the Cuban Missile Crisis, even I knew that we were not going to survive. Why bother going to this shelter? But it never happened.
And I've always thought that was a really good example, because we were so sure, we were messing around. We were very sure that it was going to happen. And there is a young man who grew up to be a scientist in our military group. And he said when he was that age, he was in the second grade and he was from Germany. And he said that he believed there was a little girl. We all hid under the desks. And there was a little girl, and the little girl had white lace panties on. And he could just see the white lace under and his great prayer was to get to touch her panties before it was all over. Now, quite modest, really. I mean,
Guys have never changed. We're the same. Oh my goodness gracious.
So I'm guessing now that all of that happened when we were in school and we were in school had a lot to do with what you decided to do when you grew up. If you have grown up, would you say you have?
Well, to the degree that I have indeed, yes, I was inspired by John F. Kennedy. We had obviously the Peace Corps and also the President's Fitness Program. That was a wonderful thing. It brought Americans together. And so much of politics today is so divisive. I mean, do you disagree with this president or that president's policy? Yes, I extremely disagree with many of the policies, but I'm not going to kill him. I'll do my best to vote them out. But, the rhetoric of violence in this country is terrifying to me.
Well, have you given any thought? I really agree. Have you given any thought to what we might do? I very, very often, I remember I'm a little old lady in an assisted living community. And so the little old ladies here will say, oh, but we can't do anything about it. And I don't think that's true. I think that everybody can do something. I'm just not sure what. What do you think? What can you offer any ideas, any things that we might do that could make a difference or could help swing things?
So, in my not so humble opinion, the biggest social and moral issues we're facing are extensive homelessness and extensive crime. So those are the issues that we need to deal with. And again and again and again, we have refused to deal with them. We have BINJ, Boston Independent News Journalism. So a friend of mine started this independent news organization to talk about local news in Boston, doing wonderful jobs talking about things like who gets liquor licenses. So nice and local stuff. And when I left Boston, I was talking with him and said, I will donate $20,000 if you will do a series of articles on homelessness in Cambridge. And they did.
That's interesting. So one thing I think that I get out of this kind of is that you have to reach beyond the obvious. You can't. It is true that the tried and true channels don't seem to be working, or maybe we don't know how to use them. But you have to kind of go beyond and try something new or something more. Tell us.
I actually see it the other way around.
Really?
I see it as we have abandoned the tried and true methods, come up with all these wonderful ideas and things in education. Supposedly, our children are twice as educated as I ever was. They learn more in high school than we ever could if they do it right. But if you have a wild classroom where kids are just wild, which I have seen, then no, they do worse than we did. With all these advantages, all the technologies, all the wonderful things they have. And yet so many schools, kids who can't read.
Well, and now there comes the additional thing. This is so much America's birthday, but I have a son who teaches in LA, and they're having to deal with like the essays and things with artificial intelligence now. That the essays are coming in written by someone else, and it's kind of a problem. Yes.
Oh yeah, as you know, I worked on artificial intelligence back in the old days,
But it was
and
all, yeah.
I am mind boggled at how good these large neural networks are. I would not have I predicted the opposite. I predicted that they're just going to keep doing nothing and do cute things, and then boom.
Yep.
So,
and it's going to get more. It's going to be more now. And as I always say, the important thing to remember about AI is you can't turn it off. It's on, but you can't turn it off.
Oh yeah. So you better learn to use it to your advantage.
Well, you know, or even not being military. There's one thing I'm pretty well set on is not using AI. It doesn't matter. You've got to learn how to use it or how it works anyway, because you can't just ignore it. It's not ignorable. Keep that in mind. So now here we have the country. We have the 250th birthday approaching, and we know a lot more than most people about the whole thing. I would like, can you give advice? Of course you can, to a young person coming in, let's say my son's students, high school kids, or anybody that you might have in mind. Have you got some urgent advice, something to share that it will be helpful to know?
Well, I have my standard advice, which is be involved. I don't care what it is that you're obsessed with. If you're into history or math or science or art or whatever, then be fully involved in that. Be the one who volunteers to spend the extra time to organize the displays or the plays or whatever. Be the one that other people turn to when the adults need a helping hand. Be the one that they turn to. Oh, we're doing this script and we have to go over to Europe for a week. Who shall we bring with us? Be the person that they think of.
And did you have that happen? Were you the person that they thought of?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. And then times when it was yes, I said, yes, I did a good thing. The times when I didn't, I said, wow, that could have been me right there.
Wonder why it wasn't. But you've done such a lot of what can you think of to share with our young friend who's sitting here listening? What do you feel really good about? I know, and I really understand the feeling that you've done these things and they're great things, but there's got to have been some things that you just hit the ball out of the park.
Well, interestingly enough, teaching is probably my greatest ball out of the park thing. I love working with kids, and even as a substitute teacher, things work well. The kids like me. In my entire history, have had one fourth grade class that did not find me exciting or amusing or funny. I have no idea why, but everybody else, they love me because I'm excited. I'm there. Oh, let's do this cool thing. That's my idea of teaching.
And we've got a picture of your class here. If you want to explain anything about it. Is that you with the signs there?
So the lady in front of you is reading a part of a script that I have written. The students come up and we do little vignettes together in front of the class. And at this point, she is Patrick Henry. She was reading the part of Patrick Henry, and she's now screaming, "Give me liberty or give me death." And then I jump up with these signs and I get the whole class laughing and cheering and yelling. And when high schoolers are yelling, oh, they are so happy. and they just have a great time. They're like, yes, to Williamsburg, march! Oh, those British, we're going to get those Brits! Oh, and they get so excited, and of course that follows on to the rest of the class. They're not at that level, but they're excited. It's fun. They're not thinking about learning things. They're thinking that, oh, this is interesting. This is fun. And, oh, that's why that political thing happened. Oh, that's why money works. So,
so that must be too why does this explain why you became James Madison?
No, actually, it doesn't.
Well,
this
what
explains
does?
what James Madison inspired in me.
Well, say more.
I was originally asked to do a little skit during a protest march, and okay, whoopee-doo. But the way people interacted with me in a very poor costume, with a few aphorisms, was impressive. So I got interested, and I said I could do this again. And then I started studying, and I said, oh my goodness gracious, I really like this guy. He is a nerd. He is short. He is 100 pounds, but he is an intellectual, and he's happy. He is into life. You read about him and Dolly and kids.
Married to Dolly, he would be happy, I think.
God, she was the woman of women. Not only was she gorgeous, but she was brilliant. When communications broke down between Thomas Jefferson and Anthony Merry, the British ambassador to the early United States, what happened was I talked to Jefferson about the issues. I then told Dolly about them. Dolly talked to Mrs. Merry. Mrs. Merry talked to Mr. Merry, who then relayed their thoughts backwards. And this is how we did politics for a little while, which that's just to say Dolly, she was brilliant and she made things happen.
Well, what did you learn from those years? In fact, you haven't stopped doing President Madison, I don't think, have you? Or do you still do it?
No. Well, most recently, I taught a class at Lake Pend Oreille High School in February. Then we had the History Teachers Conference in Boise, Idaho. So I went down for that in costume a couple of weeks ago. That was wonderful. And I will be in the 4th of July parade in Sandpoint. And I will be at the reading of the Declaration of Independence in Newport, Washington in a week.
So I guess it means you haven't stopped.
Yeah. I just thought they're going to do this reading. Why should they care about me? But I called them up anyway. And they said, oh, that'd be fun. Oh, definitely come. Oh, we'll give you 2 minutes. Come up with 2 minutes and boom. So yeah.
See, and I think that's exactly what folks need to know, is that there's always a chance if you look for it and you take it. So, my darling Bill, we have been doing this for many, many years, and we're still here. And now our time together is nearly over. So I need in about the next, I know, I'm not about 2 minutes of inspirational, what do we say? Speech that will inspire all of us to join you in your quest for freedom, democracy, and the American way. That's Superman.
Indeed. I was bored with Superman. Superheroes are boring. I want a real person who might get killed as opposed to, whatever. So I am older. I'm going to kick off and who knows when. And I was thinking about my alma maters. And so I called Indiana University, where I got my master's degree, and asked them if I could come and give a talk about my work and how to debug computer programs. And if there was a graduate student who was interested in what I had done, that I would support them for the summer.
Oh, wonderful.
So right now I am supporting a graduate student by the name of Adam, who is working on omniscient debugging. That's what I call it. And I am supporting this person for the summer, just like I was supported when I was an impecuniary graduate student.
That is so great. I'm so proud of you. And we must find someone else to support. That's really, that's such a great idea because it really would make a difference, but it's doable. I mean, it's not that you couldn't. So often people say, "Well, I would do that," but you really can't, But you really could do that. So
yeah, I mean,
if someone would like to find you, and I just can imagine that they'd like to find you, how would they do it?
Well, the easiest thing is to find me online at presentingjamesmadison.com. So if you just Google Presenting James Madison, you will find me. You can just Google Bill Lewis with one L, and you'll find more about me than you want to know.
That is really true. And Bill is with us pretty often, so your chances of hearing him are good. But he's very inspiring. So I know, I wouldn't you like to know? At some point, I will tell you, I heard 3 things that I remember. A little old lady, 93 years old, in an assisted living. I heard 3 things I could do, and so I think that's pretty good. And we'll see what else we can cook up. So anyway, last words, my dear.
It is midsummer. It is time to go out and enjoy and love the world and dance around the maypole and sing and chase the animals and have kids riding on your shoulders and jumping into the water.
That's good, Bill. That's really good. So we will see you again soon, and we will keep in touch and do many wonderful and exciting things. That's our dear friend Bill Lewis from somewhere in Idaho. Thank you. And this is it for Swimming Upstream Radio Show for this week. Swimming Upstream Radio Show is presented by the SOB Radio Network. And that means that stands for Spunky Old Broads. May that be said of all of us. Thanks. This is Dorothy Wilhelm. I'll see you next time.